What is good, YouTube? Krishan checking back in with another video. First things first, if you're watching this video, go ahead and drop a sub, drop a like, and drop a comment as well. It helps with the algorithm. Also, the love I have been getting on the channel lately is amazing, guys. Continue to do what you're doing on the channel, and I'll continue to put out good content. In our first story of the day, we're going to take a look at Regan Grimes, man. And this update was actually posted about 2 days ago. I've been meaning to put it in a video. It's just been slipping my mind. And, man, Regan is starting to look dangerous. Honestly, Regan doesn't have weak arms, but if he had some ridiculous like Nick Walker arms, his physique would look so much better in my opinion. And it also looks like Regan can still add a little more size to his legs, but it's looking like Regan is probably going to be able to hop into their top 10 this year. And look at this abs and thighs, man. This is amazing. Regan has definitely made some improvements since last year. I could also say he could use a little more lat width, as you can see on the front double, as well as the abs and thighs. If he was a little wider, he would look a little better. And I would also like to see some back shots of Regan, so hopefully he puts them up soon. Now, this shot on the right is probably the best shot I've seen of him. It just looks amazing. And as far as the side chest on the left, Regan could be a little thicker in the top, maybe in the delts and the arms. But other than that, man, he looks amazing. If strictly looking at this photo on the right, he can definitely contend for that top 10. But we're going to see what happens when Regan steps on stage, and hopefully he's able to stand with some of these guys, because Regan definitely has the potential to be a future Mr. Olympia. He has everything he needs. He just needs to put on size. All right, and in our next update of the day, we're going to take a look at Iain, Valliere, who is looking pretty good, man, going into this Arnold Classic. This is a front leg spread and a back leg spread, and I don't know why Iain always formats his photos weird and put these weird collages, but that's Iain doing, not mine, of course. But going into this Arnold Classic, you guys don't know my predictions, but I think I have Iain Valliere in my top 5. I'm not 100% sure, but I think he's in my top 5. Iain is huge and grainy, and he can beat out some guys with great shape by bringing their size and conditioning like Dorian Yates did. And taking a look at the side tricep and the abs and thighs, this ab and thigh from Iain is starting to grow on me, man. He actually looks pretty good in this shot. I hear a lot online that the traditional pose for the abs and thighs, the two arms behind the head, gets recognized more by the judges, but I'm not actually sure about that. So I believe that he should hit the standard abs and thighs and then probably go into this one. Our next update of the day, we get a physique update from Akeem Williams, and this was actually posted on Bev's Gym. I believe this is where he trains at. So we have no idea if this is recent or if it isn't. But if this is recent, Akeem is in trouble, because we are under 3 weeks out from the Arnold Classic, I believe about 2.5. And I don't think Akeem is going to be able to tighten up fast enough if this is how he's looking now. Now, in my personal opinion, I don't think this is how Akeem is looking, because I have another update of him. Looks like he's doing some rear delt flies maybe, and he looks a lot more conditioned. I know this is in the gym and gym lighting and during a pump, but I'm hoping that Akeem is going to come in shape, and I'm hoping that that picture wasn't recent, because I have Akeem pretty high up on my Arnold Classic predictions list. And a lot of people are not talking about Akeem, and I think he likes to stay below the radar. But I'm going to tell you guys now, Akeem Williams will definitely be in their top 3 if he is able to bring the same conditioning that he brought from the Olympia last year or Puerto Rico. In Puerto Rico, he also looked pretty well. People said he looked better in person. Akeem just doesn't look as good in pictures because of his darker skin. But you guys need to watch out for Akeem Williams, and at the Arnold Classic, a lot more people are going to be talking about him for sure. In our next story of the day, we're going to take a look at Bryan Jones as we get this front lat spread, as well as a most muscular ab and thigh kind of variation. And I believe that Bryan Jones is 31 years old, and he's also around 220 pounds. I seen a comparison of him and Robert Timms, and Robert Timms is actually about 240 pounds. But Bryan Jones has the roundness and the shape, which is why he looks heavier at a smaller weight. And honestly, if Bryan is able to get a little more time, I think he can challenge for that classic physique title. I don't believe going into it this year that he is, like a lot of people say. I believe Greg DeAsha had him as high as 2nd place this year. And Bryan just doesn't have the separation in his quads. And with this being a classic physique division, I believe that those lines really make a difference. And Robert Timms has great lines. Bryan Jones has the shape, but he doesn't have the lines. If he's able to get the lines and is able to pair that with great posing, of course, he can be an amazing classic physique Mr. Olympia. But the knock that I have on Bryan, I don't think that he can stand with some of these guys from the back yet. As you see in the rear lat spread, I know it's not a mandatory pose for classic, but he looks a little thin in the clavicle area. But in the back double, he looks a little wider. Me personally, I don't think he's going to be able to stand with Chris Bumstead or Robert Timms from the back, but it looks like he has made some improvements, so it is possible. But I guess we're just going to have to wait till actually, he's competing at the Arnold Classic, so we're going to see at the Arnold Classic a little preview of what Bryan Jones is going to bring to the Mr. Olympia stage. And in our last story of the day, we get to take a look at Nathan DeAsha in Brandon Curry's favorite doorway area we always see Brandon posing in and making videos. Nathan also trains at Oxygen Gym, as you guys know, and Nathan is actually roommates with Brandon Curry, so they stay together. They stay in separate rooms with kind of a joint in the middle. But I'm very excited to see what Nathan is going to bring to the Mr. Olympia stage this year. I believe his highest placing at the Mr. Olympia is 6th. And this year, I believe he can improve upon that. I believe he's around the same level as Akeem Williams, Sergio Oliva Jr., and Steve Kuklo. So if we're able to see Nathan at the Arnold Sports UK, which I think we should, then we'll be able to kind of assess where he'll place at the Mr. Olympia. Nathan has already beat Rolly Winkler, but a lot of people feel like Rolly is on his way out, so they probably haven't put Nathan so high up. And I don't know why. Nathan has 7 pro wins, I believe, but there aren't too many people talking about Nathan DeAsha as well, especially with his recent comeback and him beating Rolly Winkler. But I'm very excited to see what Nathan is going to bring to the Mr. Olympia stage this year. I'm pretty sure he's going to be in the top 6, if not at least top 8. Nathan could probably use a little improvement from the back. I'm not sure if the taller guys need improvement or just from video and pictures. The taller guys always look thin to me from behind, such as Sergio, Steve Kuklo, as well as Nathan DeAsha. So if any higher up bodybuilder guy can kind of give me some insight on that, I would really like that, because I'm not sure if it's just the pictures that they look thin in or does it translate in person. I haven't seen any of these guys in person, so I don't really know. But all of them that are above 5'11" seem to look a little thin from behind to me. But that's just my opinion. But that's going to be the video for today, you guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Like, comment, and sub. I'm out.